Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about why it's probably going to happen again and we won't be ready for it next time either. That's what we're going to talk about. There's a push right now to lay the blame for everything that happened over the last year on China. Okay? They're talking about whether or not it was a leak. Okay, fine. And then they're framing it as if that this is the information they need to make sure it doesn't happen again. That's not true. That is a flat out lie. They have no intention of making the changes necessary to ensure this doesn't occur again. None. If it is determined it came from a leak, then, they'll say we need more funding for our intelligence agencies because we're obviously not spying on the Chinese enough. And by will say, I mean they've already said this. They will do everything except address the actual issues that created the unmitigated failure that was our public health response. The reality here is that they want to blame China, A, because it helps out in the near-peer propaganda, and B, if we can blame another country, then it doesn't undermine American exceptionalism. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't a failure of leadership. It wasn't a lack of medical infrastructure. It was those other people. They did this to us. Therefore, we don't really need to change because that's not going to happen again. Realistically, let's say they do confirm and find out that it came from a leak over there. What are they going to do? Say, oh, you're going to have to pay for this. Put some sanctions on them and tell them to strengthen their security protocols, which they already would have done because they were impacted by it too. It's thoughts and prayers. They are attempting to win the next war by preparing for the last. And that doesn't do any good. There will be another public health issue like this. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. There is one solution to making sure we don't have this problem again. And that is to increase the resiliency of our medical infrastructure. Period. Full stop. Nothing else is going to do anything. Nothing else will change the outcome. How do you do that? Medical education, that would be a big one, so people understand the information that's being passed along. That they might do. A little bit of public health messaging, stuff like that. I could see that happening. But the thing that actually matters is they have to increase the capacity of our medical infrastructure. That's what they have to do to make sure that it isn't quite as paralyzing for the nation. How do you do that? Increase usage. Increase usage, you make sure everybody has health care. So then everybody's going to the doctor. Everybody's going to the hospital. Normal checkups, stuff like that. Then, when something like this happens again, not if, when, all those people stay home. People for their normal checkups, their normal routine medical stuff, they stay home. But because the infrastructure is ready to handle that capacity, they have the supplies they need to deal with the emergent public health issue, to deal with the next bug. Just like happened this time, people would stay home, which means they have more masks, they have more PPE, they have more oxygen, they have the stuff they need because the load is typically higher. That is the solution. It is the only solution. There is no way to prevent and contain this in every situation. That's not a real possibility. You can mitigate, but you can't be certain. So if they want to talk about national security, they want to talk about making sure it's not going to happen again, there is only one solution, and that's healthcare. Anything else is them politicizing it and attempting to use it for their own ends. That is the solution. It's the only solution. This will happen again. There is no doubt about it. It will occur again. And I would point out that every opposition nation, every opposition non-state actor in the world just saw this country brought to its knees by a bug that really, when compared to weaponized stuff, wasn't that bad. This was horrible. More than 500,000 gone. But when you're talking about something intentional, it's not even in the same league. If they want to talk about national security and they do not want to talk about increasing medical infrastructure and making sure everybody has medical care, they're lying to you. It is that simple, because that's the only solution to the problem. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.